this is a sock puppet account. And yes, this week, part 2 of the politics of boobs. That's all coming up. But first, here's what's stupid. Prince William and Kate introduced their new baby to the world, and scientists are hard at work creating a device that can measure just how little I give a shit. The race for the GOP presidential nomination is starting to get cluttered as 3 more enter the field. Mike Huckabee is well known as an author and broadcaster. Huck doesn't believe in evolution, but experienced survival of the fittest with his previous unsuccessful bid for the 2008 nomination. One thing going for him is his friendship with Chuck Norris, who would likely be Huck's choice as Secretary of Defense and eliminate the need for a standing army. Dr. Ben Carson is the first black Republican to step onto the stage. A writer and retired neurosurgeon, Carson became famous for being the first doctor to successfully separate twins who were joined at the head. However, it seems that Dr. Carson is confused about a few things, like his suggestion that being gay is a choice because, quote, guys go into prison straight and come out gay. Something must have happened. Yeah, something happened. Rape! They don't come out gay, they come out walking funny. Carson is confusing the Friends of Dorothy with Oz. Maybe he can use his neurosurgery skills to separate his head from his ass. Carly Fiorina, who in 1999 became the first female CEO of a Fortune 20 company. Fiorina says that, unlike Hillary, I have actually accomplished something, citing as proof her business acumen at HP, where under her leadership the company's stock lost half its value while its main competitor's stock rose 30%. No doubt Ms. Fiorina is right. These are memorable accomplishments.
Yeah.
In the Democratic field, Hillary Clinton's lone opponent is Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders. Sanders warns the media not to underestimate him, but that would require them first estimating him. Feeling that Bernie has very little name recognition, there's been an online movement to draft WKRP and Cincinnati actor Richard Sanders. Among the benefits, instead of using military force, we'd establish national borders with masking tape. Expensive air-to-ground missiles will be replaced with live turkeys, and when he does that presidential chest beating, it'll sound like a helicopter. In a related story to all the candidates now popping up, scientists have discovered a breed of catfish that can leave the water and climb up walls. This week, Tiger Woods and alpine skier Lindsey Vonn announced the end of a relationship I didn't know even existed. The U.S. government's Defense Advanced Research Project, DARPA, has developed a bullet that can change trajectory. Once fired, the .50 caliber round can adjust itself in flight to hit a moving target. Clearly, the government has created this ammunition in case the Flash goes rogue. And while this is a neat application of technology, I don't think the problem lately has been bullets that are missing their targets.
Ouch.
And the U.S. Navy Research Center has developed a method to make bulletproof glass out of clay. Even more amazing, the transparent bulletproof material can be molded into any shape. In related news, Gumby now says he can kick your ass. I just discovered this new development in a bathroom this weekend. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with giving urinal mats names. It changes the whole dynamic into an uncomfortable experience. Washington officials are investigating 3 incidents of Capitol Police officers leaving their guns in the bathroom, one of which was found by a child. Now, we've all left something lethal behind in a public washroom, but never this literally. That darling Taylor Swift released a video on Instagram of her arguing with a bunch of sheep. Apparently, Taylor has never learned that the customer is always right. According to a sickening wank piece in People magazine, Justin Bieber says he wants to become someone his younger siblings can look up to. So someone better get him a pair of stilts. In part 1 of the politics of boobs, we looked at the Free the Nipple campaign for the right of women to bare their breasts in public. We determined that to create a balance for women being topless in public, men will be given a 3-second grace period to glance. Now there's another front where boobs are at the centerpiece of a culture war. Video games. At issue, do cups equal character? In video games, like in comic books, the human form is idealized. Sorry, big word. It looks ridiculous. Everything is exaggerated. Proportions aren't realistic because nothing is. Nobody plays video games to live in the normal, dull world. Except for The Sims, but that's its own issue. So while popular male characters are ridiculously beefy, popular female characters have their beef placed elsewhere. Granted, male characters don't have ridiculously large cod pieces because A, up till recently the majority of gamers were perceived as being male, and guys don't want some other guy's tackle in their face. And B, women are less visually stimulated than men. In other words, they are less likely to be turned into idiots by bulging sex characteristics. Hence the difference in the power balance at men's and women's strip clubs. Now, as men, we probably haven't known that smaller-breasted women have felt that characters with big boobs make them feel, by comparison, less attractive, less ideal, and less desirable. And no, men don't feel the same about big-muscled guys because, let's face it, the media tells us we can look like schlubs and still get the dream girl. Listen, women with smaller breasts deserve to have characters they can better relate to. But the radical voices don't just want more small-breasted characters, they want no big-breasted characters. Or as some commentators have labeled them, fighting f***dolls. Female game characters with big boobs are being demonized as insulting and demeaning and promoting bad attitudes towards women. Crap! This is boob shaming. It's an attempt to force the pendulum to swing like old men's testicles in a steam room. One of the loudest complaints from the B-Cup Brigade is that women with the proportions of Lara Croft or Ivy Valentine don't really exist. Wrong! They exist! If you want proof, check out the cosplay pictures from any comic convention. That's all homegrown. And by the way, if you want to see how well male video game characters reflect male gamers, here's some other cosplay photographs. Sure, smaller-breasted women have a legitimate gripe, but you know what? Women with big boobs face their own discrimination. They don't get taken seriously at work because boobs, and people think they're sluts. Again, big boobs. So these crusaders for more acceptable bodies are adding to the stereotypes, keeping their big-boobed sisters down, as if they don't already have enough weight on their shoulders. Next week, part 3 of The Politics of Boobs, looking at the world of comic books, and an interview with controversial Marvel Comics artist Frank Cho, who's been targeted by the thought police for having a sense of humor and the ability to draw women. If you haven't done so already, subscribe now to the channel. And since we're published after Monday, I can officially say, see you next Tuesday. I'm Ed the Sock and I'm nobody's puppet. Don't you be either. Aloha.